And activists in McAllen held an event to stand in solidarity with all people affected by police violence. CBS 4's Patrick Xavier was at the event and joins us now in the studio.
Tiffany, throughout the country, protests and marches by the group Black Lives Matter have surfaced, calling for a stop in violence and sometimes deadly altercations between police and black men, women, and children.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
Dozens of people gathered at Archer Park in McAllen for a Black Lives Matter march and vigil Saturday evening.
We know that there are people here who know that this is a just right and apparent cause, so we felt like there could be no problem with doing this.
Imalohi Aromaseli organized the event, which was shared to over 3,000 others on Facebook, to stand in solidarity with those who have been affected by police violence. In several cases, protesters have faced opposition by those who felt the Black Lives Matter movement was an attack on law enforcement.
I think it's kind of erasing this struggle. Yes, all lives matter. We know this and we've gone over this over and over and over, but there's no problem with focus and emphasizing and trying to fight for that equity.
Saturday evening was no different. Members of the group Valley Blue Defenders were also in attendance, making sure their presence was known the second they arrived at Archer Park, with no intention of fight, but to stand behind the men and women in law enforcement.
This is not against anybody. How can a law enforcement be against anybody? Our job ultimately is to support the Constitution of the United States, to defend it.
The march comes after a similar protest in Dallas ended in gunfire, all targeting Dallas PD. 5 officers would die as a result, running into danger while protecting those trying to escape it. The Black Lives Matter group then made their way to City Hall. Once again, they came face to face with the Valley Blue Defenders.
Myself and a few other organizers tried to speak to maybe the leader or someone part of the counter demonstration, and they just wouldn't have it. Screaming and yelling continued. The revving of the engines, they pretended as though they couldn't hear us. So that's very telling on who is willing to compromise and who's not.
For almost 30 minutes, a shouting match between groups.
There was one actual protester, someone in the opposition, who accidentally spit on me, but he realized that he did that, and he came and apologized to me profusely. And little acts like that, if you can be kind to me on the day-to-day, then why can we not have a conversation about bigger issues?
We attempted to speak with several members of the Valley Blue Defenders, but were denied comment on more than one occasion. But were told off camera that they were solely there to support their men and women in blue. Despite the ever-growing distance between each other, both groups agreed that an answer to the solutions would not come at the end of a bullet or fist.
We all matter. Just say that you matter with me. And that's all I have to say.
It's tough to say if any progress was made after tonight's march, but one question we were asked on numerous occasions by both groups: where were the police? The groups tell me they both reached out to McAllen PD for presence during this march. Both said their requests were ignored. In the studio, Patrick Xavier, CBS 4 News and ValleyCentral.com.